Hello, my name is Sandrine, and I am the founder of Ndabaga Impact, an organization that aims at empowering young people and women so that they become problem solvers and critical thinkers in a way that they engage themselves in different activities that contribute to the country's development in all sectors. So Ndabaga Impact has a project which is called All Youth Engagement, which is aiming at empowering young people to become problem solvers using three approaches, which are intergenerational dialogue and research, as well as arts and theater. This is why Ndabaga Impact has organized an online research training. So the target and the aim of this research training is to make sure that we empower young people to have the spirit of research and to become young researchers at their young age, so that they can bring out those creative ideas that they have, and those creative ideas can be used as weapons or as key roles that they can play in the problem solving ways and on the journey of peace building in the country, and as well contributing to the country's sustainable growth in both economic and social impact.
Hello dear students, pleased to welcome you all wherever you are, and I'm happy to welcome you to this research training as organized by Ndabaga Impact Organization. I am Dr. Ndabaga Jean-Baptiste, the one who will be with you during this course. And I do hope that you are all ready for this lecture and this course, and therefore wherever you are all welcome, and we'll go through this course, this training by presenting the subjects as I have prepared them. And this program, this lecture, is going to present to you the course of how to become a good researcher. And becoming a good researcher it means that you need to understand the concepts of research and the concepts which are involved in the research. That means we will go through the different chapters which will cover the research training, and therefore you are welcome. And we are going to start right now by seeing the definition of research. What is research? As it is projected, as you can see there, the definition of research is an organized, systematic, data-based, critical scientific investigation into a specific problem undertaken with the objective of finding answers or solutions to that problem. And the term research is related to seek out the information and knowledge on a particular topic or subject. In other words, research is an art of systematic investigation. Some people consider research as a movement from unknown to known, or a voyage of discovery. Everyone, as you know, possesses the instinct of discovering when confronting a known thing, to try to make investigation so as to come up with solution or invention. The person engaged in this scientific investigation is known as a researcher. According to this researcher called Clifford Woody, research comprises defining and redefining problems, formulating hypotheses or suggested solutions, collecting, organizing, and evaluating data, making deductions, and reaching conclusions. And at last, as Clifford says, there is a carefully testing the conclusions to determine whether they fit to the formulating hypothesis. And that is the source of this quotation from Clifford Mood. Why this research? These are the specific objectives for this research training. This research training, dear learners, aims at, number one, building a research spirit in young people to become problem solvers. As you understand it, by the end of this lecture, or by the end of this training, everybody will be able to become a researcher who is able to solve any problem. And number two, this research training aims at providing students or youth with an understanding of the concepts and techniques of research methods, such as qualitative and quantitative and other research methods. Number three, this research training aims at helping people to find out the problems that are, especially in our Rwandan community, such as family problems, mental or health problems, illiteracy, financial issues, and so on. Number four, this research training wants to help youth, especially, to understand and apply the scientific concepts of research, such as research title, problem statement, objective of the research, research hypothesis, research methods, population and sample of research, research instruments, data collection, reporting, writing, and so on. Those are some of the scientific concepts that we'll be covering, and we'll see how we can understand them so that you can become a good researcher. Number five, another objective for this research training is to help you to be able to read and understand the literature of other researchers and writers in line with your problem. With your problem, you will need to understand and go through your problem, your subject or your topic, and the relationship with other literature or other writings which are in line with your problem. Number six, our research training will help you to be able to write a research proposal and formulating solutions to the problem researched on. In fact, dear student, dear learner, you always will need to have skills on how to make a research, to write a research proposal, so that you never know, you can submit it so wherever you will be, so that it can also help you and help the society where you will be. So this objective number six will help you to master how to write a proposal, a good proposal of research, and formulating solutions to the problem that you will be researching. Now let's see the purpose of this research training. The purpose of this research training is to help young Rwandans to be able to know how to conduct a research professionally and how to come up with creative solutions to the problems found in Rwandan society, specifically those related to young people. I know very well that every young, wherever he or she is in Rwanda, in every corner of Rwanda, may have a certain problem, and therefore by mastering, by getting skills from this research training, you will be able to conduct research professionally, and you will be able to create solutions following the skills and the steps that we'll go through during this training. Assumptions. This research training is ideal for students, especially for youth with minimal knowledge of research, as well as for those with intermediate knowledge who need a quick refresher regarding particular aspects of research design and methodology, as well as concepts of scientific research. In other words, by preparing this research course, I am assuming that either you who has minimum knowledge or in research skills, you are welcome, and this training will help you to know and to understand very well what is research and how you can apply it in your daily life to solve your problems. And as well as those who have intermediate knowledge will gain a lot of experience by following this training. Now, I need to let you know how this course will be organized. The organization of the course. This course is organized into 3 main chapters. The first chapter is none other than introduction. This introduction will cover actually the definition that we need to master to know what is research, the definition of research. Number 2, the chapter 1 will cover the objectives of this introduction. Actually, we have covered all of these 2 definition of research. We have seen what is research, and we have seen why this research training is made for. And number 3, we have also seen the purpose of this research training and the assumptions that we have also seen. Chapter 2 that we are going to see is made of types of research and research methodology. And we will cover the 5 elements. Those are types of research. Actually, we can call them types of research methods, which will be used by researcher to come up with solutions by following these types of research. Of course, we'll see also that the research methodology is very crucial to help you, to guide you, to follow the steps which will help you to determine or to find the solutions to the problem that you set. The chapter number 3 will cover the research process. Now, this is very important. It will cover the different process that each researcher needs to go through. Are made of research problem. Research problem, of course, you have a problem. Before you become a researcher, you know that there is a problem. That problem, you need to define it very, very well so that it can be very understandable. We shall see it later. And number 2, under this chapter 3, we will see how we can state the problem statement. It is very important, dear student, that you state very well your problem. Otherwise, if you are not able to state your problem, you will not find the solution adequate to the problem that you have set. Number 3, we will see the purpose and the objectives of research. Those are very, very important to define your purpose and define the objectives, or in other words, the specific objectives and the general objective of the research. Number 4, we'll cover the literature survey. Why every researcher needs to use literature? Because you are not the first researcher. You will never be the first researcher. Before you, there were many researchers. There are many research around the world. There are a lot of books. There are a lot of books, as you can see here, and there else here in this room. There are a lot of books which were written by different researchers, different writers, which will guide you, which will really help you to understand how you can solve your problem. And number 5, we'll cover the research methodology. The research methodology will be the map road, actually, that will guide you step by step to use, and that is also scientific scientific way, which will guide you to define or to determine the solution to your problem. Number 6, we'll cover the presentation of results or findings. And number 7, we will see something very important in research ethics. Research ethics is very crucial because you need to know what you should do, you should not do, what you should do, the barriers, when you are doing the research, you will need to go there, or you need some information there, and when you have collected all the information and your findings, you will need also to know how to publish them and who can have access to them. Not everybody, so that you can use the ethics. And we'll also see how to report the research. Of course, we'll see other also elements very important in this, under this chapter 3, research process, because there we will as well need to define the budget that you need to clarify, so that you can come up with your research, and you will also need to write the references, the books that you have used, and you will need also to follow a timetable, because your research will have a timeline, so that you can follow it. Of course, this class will have, like other classes, we will have also to evaluate ourselves. You will be evaluated. There will be assignments. There will be also group discussions, and there will be case studies and exam. For instance, in our assignment, we'll see how we can be able to identify some problems or issues that Rwandan youth are finding or are meeting in, for instance, in their districts. So time will come when we will give you those assignments. We will also have some group discussions where you will be grouped in your territory, in your districts, in your sectors, and you will discuss some of the issues, and you will send them so that we can evaluate them. There will be also case studies, and we will also have exam. For instance, in some of the assignments, you will need, for instance, to write on the impact of COVID-19 on the socio-economic situation of Rwandans. This is a topic which is very interesting during this time. and other topics will be also covered. You will also need to define yourself the topics that you think are very suitable in your situation or at your place. Of course, the case studies will cover the issues that you are facing and how you can solve them. There will be exam which will be more practical than theoretical. As this, you understand, as you have discovered, this class, this session, this training is more practical than theoretical. The learner will be required, you will be required to write a research proposal, project on a specific problem, and you will be able to bring solutions, possible solutions. So I hope that these assignments are clear. Otherwise, I need to repeat them so that you can understand them. I know that every student, when he starts a class, he needs how he will be or she will be evaluated. Let me once again clarify these assignments so that things can be very clear in your mind. So, for instance, assignment number 1, you will be required to identify any problem or any issue of Rwandan youth as found in your sector or in your districts, and you will be required to write it in the following research process. For instance, once you have found a problem that is found in your sector or in your district, you will need to write the topic or the title of that problem. And number 2, you will need to write the statement of the problem, as we will cover, as we'll see later. And you will need, for example, to write also the objectives and the purpose of that problem, and so on. And another assignment will cover the following issues which you will need to research on and come up with ideal solutions. For instance, the girl empowerment, that is an issue in our society. And another issue is youth trafficking. That is another issue, very crucial in our society, in Africa, in Rwanda, in elsewhere in the world. So, writing or discussing on these issues will help you, and together with other members that belong to your groups, to understand the problem and to bring the solutions. And there are also other topics or other issues that you need to discuss on, such as domestic violence, entrepreneurship and business creation, peace building challenges, and the famous COVID-19 and its impact on socio-economic situation on Rwandans. Of course, the list is very exhaustive. We cannot finish all of them. You will also need to bring your issues or your problems that you will need to discuss together with your colleagues. Now, let's see the objectives of research. The objectives of research in general, the major aim of any type of research is to find out the reality and facts which is unknown and which has not been exposed. That means there is from unknown, something which was unknown, and you as a researcher, you need to bring that from that unknown to known. So there is a reality which needs to be exposed. So that is a work of a researcher. Although each research activity has its own particular reason, the objectives of research can be grouped into the following categories. Those are the categories that are found in the objectives of research. Number one, the first category of research is to achieve skillfulness with a trend or to get novel opinions into it. This objective, or this research objective, is known as exploratory or formulative research. It is exploratory when you are achieving skillfulness with a trend to get novel opinions from a specific problem, an issue, and you want to collect opinions from different people, then that research is known as exploratory. Another objective of research is to find out the characteristics of a particular character, condition, or a grouping, which is known as as descriptive research. This is known as descriptive research. It aims actually to find out the characteristics of a particular character, and it is also it will maybe require you to group, to work in group, so that you can understand or come up with the characteristics of a particular character. And another objective, general objective of research, is to establish the relationship with which something occurs, or with which it is related with something else. What does it mean? Establishing the relationship with something which is related to something else, that means there is a relationship which may exist between, for example, one sickness and to another sickness. There is a relationship which may occur between two elements. As we shall see later, we'll understand it. This is known as diagnostic research. Diagnostic research. We will understand it later. Number 4, there is another objective which aims at testing a hypothesis of a reasonable liaison between different variables. And this is, I may call it more scientific, because it requires each researcher to test a hypothesis, and that hypothesis will need to be proved so that it can help you to understand or to get the solution to the problem that you are trying to find. That objective is known as hypothesis or testing research. Now let's see the types of research. The types of research. This is very important that you understand it, because it will help you to know what kind of research you are doing, and you will know that that kind of research, that type of research will help others to understand how you did it in a way that is related to the type of research that you are using. In other words, it is also method. It deals with method that you need to use in your research. So the basic types of research, I call them basic types because there are so many. These are basic types. Number 1, there is descriptive versus analytical. Descriptive versus analytical type of research. This descriptive research consists of survey and fact-finding investigation of different kinds. The main purpose of descriptive research is explanation of the set of circumstances as it is present as such. Let's continue and see it. The main feature of this method is that the scientist does not have direct control over the variables. He can only report what is happening or what has happened. In other words, there is something which is happening, and you need to describe it. You need to make investigation by using survey. For instance, you can even use an instrument called interview or questionnaire that we'll see later, so that it can help you to explain those circumstances or something which is being occurred in your area. For example, here they say you may need to know why, or to understand why the people of the south of the world, what we call the south side, are suffering from lung cancer as compared to the people in the north area, north side. By doing investigation, they came up, they revealed that the south side people have wood burning stoves and fireplaces, and the researcher could hypothesize the reason by using hypotheses. The researcher has discovered that the reason the south side people are suffering from lung cancer is that they use the wood smoke, they use the wood burning stoves and the fireplaces, and they have discovered that the wood smoke is a factor for lung cancer to develop. That is, again, to let you understand the descriptive and versus analytical type of research. And methodology or techniques used in the descriptive research can be of all kinds, like survey methods, comparative and correlational methods, and so on. We will see them later. On the other hand, in analytical research, remember we are comparing descriptive versus analytical research, they go together. Analytical research, the researcher could use the facts, the information, the data which is already available, and analyze these sources to make a hypothesis to evaluation of the material. So in analytical research, there is already an information, some facts, some data which already are available, while in descriptive, the information needs to be surveyed. And now, another type of research here is applied versus fundamental. Applied research and fundamental type of research. In applied research, the researcher is trying to find a solution for a specific practical problem facing by an individual, or a society, or an industrial or business organization. For example, how to abolish genocide crime, what are the ways to market a product, what is causing increased poverty, and so on. Whereas fundamental research is mainly concerned with overview and with the formulation of a theory. With fundamental type of research, the researcher is using theory so that he can formulate the solution from a theory. While in applied research, there is a need to to come up with a solution from a specific or practical issue or problem. Like, for instance, the abolition of genocide crime, or how you can market your product, and so on. Another kind, let's continue to understand it very well. We are still looking at the applied versus fundamental type of research. This is a pure and basic type of research. For example, an investigation looking for whether stress levels influence students in academic performance. Stress level, you know that stress is an issue very, very crucial to influence students' performance. And how another issue may be how caffeine consumption impacts the brain, or how hand washing influences low contamination of coronavirus. Thus, the main aim of applied research is to find out a solution for some critical practical problem, whereas basic research is handling towards finding information that has a wide sense of applications to already existing problem. Another type of research is known as quantitative versus qualitative. Those two goes hand in hand, quantitative and qualitative. These are used mostly in natural and social sciences. Quantitative research is based on the aspect of quantity or extent. It is related to objects that can be expressed in terms of quantity, or something that can be counted, numbers. Such type of research involves systematic experimental analysis of observable phenomena via statistical, mathematical, or computational techniques in numerical form, such as statistics, percentages, mean, and frequencies, and so on. In other words, when you are doing a quantitative type of research, you are dealing with using systematic experimental analysis by using statistical tools such as statistics, percentages, and frequencies, and mean. It can be very well understood by using computation with different tools that were created and used through the machine. When we are saying qualitative research, we are trying to say that the qualitative research is concerned with qualitative phenomenon. That means it is related to quality or variety. Such type of research is typically descriptive and harder to analyze than qualitative data. Qualitative research involves looking in deep at non-numerical data. It is more naturalistic or anthropological. In other words, by using qualitative research method, you will be looking at how you can describe, how you can analyze some qualities, some varieties, and you will not need to use numerical data as it is used in quantitative data. Another type of research that is the last one is conceptual versus empirical. Conceptual versus empirical. Conceptual research is related to some abstract ideas or theory. It focuses on the concepts and theory that explain the concerned theory being studied. It is often used by theorists and philosophers to develop new concepts and to understand the existing ones. That means when you are doing a conceptual, when you are going to use the conceptual or empirical type of research or method of research, you will need actually to go through abstract ideas, philosophies, and theories as made by other researchers or other theorists or other philosophers. These are especially used in, for example, science domain like mathematics, physics, and so on. Now let's see the research methods or methodology of research, just to help you while you will be you'll be writing your research proposal. You need to understand the methodology of research that you need to use. The research methods include all the techniques and methods which are used for conducting research, while research methodology is the approach in which research troubles are solved throughout. It is a science of studying how research is conducted systematically. It is a science to study your research in a scientific or in a systematic way. It has been developed, it has been set, and you need to follow it, to follow that methodology, so that your research can be presented or accepted scientifically. And in this field, the researcher explains himself with different steps generally taken to study a research problem. Hence, the scientific approach which is adopted for conducting a research is called methodology. So it is very important, dear learner, that you understand this term methodology, which is none other than the approach which will help you by using different steps so that you can find the solution to the problem that you have set. The most common research methods that we will need especially to use, there are two types of research methods that you have seen before, and I want you to master it very well, because they will help you, they will come again. You will need them in your research. So in any form of research, you will be required to either count things or talk to people, either counting or talking to people. We can broadly classify research methods using this distinction: counting or talking, counting and talking to people. These two types of research method and their output data are classified as, number one, quantitative, that you have seen before, and we once again want to master it, because it is very frequent and you will need it to use it. As the name suggests, the quantitative method of research is concerned with quantifying things, counting. It asks such questions like how long, how many, or the degree to which. Quantitative methods look to quantify data and give results from a sample of the population of interest. You will need to define your population in a number. The population, for example, which made of your sector. For instance, your cell is made of how many people, how many women, how many men, how many young people, how many how many students in secondary school, how many students in primary school. Those are the ways that you will need to understand by using quantitative methods. They may look to measure the incidence of various views and opinions in a chosen sample. For example, in a chosen sample, from that population of interest, for instance, you will need to make a study in your area, for instance, in your sector, in your district, and you will not need to use the whole sectors, for instance, or the whole cells. You will need to pick a sample of maybe 10 cells or 10 sectors out of 20 or 50 sectors or cells which made the whole sector or the whole district. So that sample will help you to determine or to measure the incidence of various views and opinions. Qualitative now. The qualitative methods is concerned with a quality of information. Qualitative methods attempt to gain an understanding of underlying reasons and motivations for actions and establish how people interpret their experiences and the world around them. Qualitative methods provide insights into the setting of a problem and generating ideas and or hypotheses. You understand well that by using qualitative methods, you are not dealing with statistics as you are used to use it with quantitative method. But in qualitative method, you will need to describe, to request or to interview people to know what are their opinions on such problem. What motivated them to do this or to do that, and you need to interpret their experiences and what they think. And this is what is known as qualitative method. It gives you insights into the setting of problem and generating ideas and hypotheses. Now, we are going to cover another important chapter, and this chapter I want to introduce it, and we will continue with it because it is the main body of this research training. And I want that you make very attention to this chapter, because it will help you to know how you can write your research. This is the research process. Research process consists of sequence of actions, of steps necessary to effectively carry out research and the desired progression of these steps. In the research process, each step is specific and they are separate and distinct from each other. In other words, each step in the research process needs to be followed. It needs to be understood very well. It needs to be explained to the public or to other people who will need to understand your findings or what you want to publish. So it is very important that you, learner, you understand that every step in the research process has to be very well defined and very well cleared. So as I told you, This chapter will continue to see it, and it will help you by going through each step of research steps to define very well your research. I want to show you some of the steps that you will need to follow when writing your research proposal, when writing your research thesis, or when you want to write your research project. Some of the steps that you will need to follow are the following. Number one, you will need, first of all, to identify the research problem. It is very crucial, very important for every research to identify clearly the problem. It is not vague. It has to be clear. We shall see it. Another step is problem statement. You will need to state the problem to let people understand the problem. You will state the problem. And number three, you will need to clarify the purpose of your research. Let people understand the purpose, what I can also call the general objective of your research. And from that purpose, you will need to define or to determine, the specific objectives. The specific objectives will help you will help others to understand the reason of your purpose. Number four, the fourth step for research step is hypothesis formulation. This we'll see it how you can formulate a hypothesis which will help you to prove that your problem will be solved or will not be solved. And number five is the significance of the study. Significance of the study, we shall see it, and it will be followed by justification of study, delimitations and limitations of research. You will need to delimit and to give limitations for your research, because you are not the one to do such research, because you cannot cover the whole world, you cannot cover the whole district. There will be delimitations and limitations. And we shall also cover step number 8, literature survey. Step number 9 for a research process is research design. Now we are entering in the research methodology. Research design will help you to show or to see what kind of methodology you will be using, what kind of instruments you will be using. If you will be using questionnaire, if you will be using interviews, if you will be using group discussion, there are a lot of instrument tools to be used. Step number 10, there will be determining sample design. Sample design out of the population of research, of your research. You will need, for instance, sampling your population. Number 11, step number 11 is dealing with data collection. Once you have collected, you have administered, for instance, your questionnaire, you have distributed, then you will need to collect data, and after collecting data, then number 12, the step number 12, data analysis. You will sit and analyze your data. Then after, you will prove the hypothesis. You will test the hypothesis, which is step number 13. And step number 14 deals with interpretation of data. Now you are going to sit and interpret your data using, of course, scientific and computation tools. Number 15, step number 15 is the preparation of report. There you have finished your analysis, your design, your testing, then you are ready to write the report. And after writing your report, you will need to present the results. You need to present the results. Of course, there are other steps that are necessary for your research, like bibliographic references, because I told you before that you are not the first researcher, you are not the last researcher. There are other researchers, there are other writers who may contribute to help you to clarify your topic, your subject or your problem. Therefore, you will need to write the bibliography that you have used, or if you have used, you have got the information from different people, you will know how you can write the references of those people. Another step is to set a timetable for your research. Each research to be successful will require you to make or to do it following a timetable. Otherwise, you may not finish it. You need to set a timetable so that the research can also have a timeline. Of course, you need to determine the budget for your research. You need to work on your research according to the budget that you have. And lastly, we'll see also the annexes which we made of, for instance, the questionnaire that you have used, the interviews, and so on. This research course, dear learner, dear student, is a course which is very, very interesting. I want to call your attention to follow it and to start to make a research yourself by going through the internet, through Google, through other materials such as the books, such as the magazine and the articles. All those things will help you to understand this class, this subject of research training. Another thing which will help you is to know what is going on around you. What is going on around you? What is going on in your cell, in your village, in your sector, in your district? You know, you are very important in your area, and the country is counting on you. And when you know those problems which are happening in your area, therefore you can embark on starting the research and researching on them so that you can bring solutions which will help not only you, they will also help the society in large, our country. So you are welcome once again. Let's continue to see this training, and you will never regret, because it will help you even in later times. And if you are a student in university, this class is very important for you. It will help you to master your knowledge. If you have never covered this subject, it is a good time to start to understand it. If you are a student in secondary school, then you need also to understand it, to know and to master the skills for being a good researcher. Welcome and may God bless you.